Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm doing a Eurovision 2024 Semifinal 2 qualifiers prediction, and this is of course with the very limited information that we know now, because we don't really know how everything is going to look on the stage in Malmö, and I can really change everything quite literally. But when we value the Eurovision songs, as I said in my Semifinal 1 qualifiers prediction video, you need to view as each song and each country as like puzzle pieces. So the song is a piece, the voice is a piece, the staging is a piece, etc, etc. And for some songs we have all the pieces. Sweden, we have all the pieces, we know how everything is going to look. But for other countries such as the Netherlands and Georgia, we don't really know how they sound live with this song, and we don't really know anything about the staging, etc, etc. And that can of course really change who will advance to the final. I've made some notes in turn for all the countries in the semi-final and whether I think it will qualify or not, just to kind of guide me as well. And then I have made this lovely, like, I don't know, how would you call it? It's like a grid system, as you can see right here. So on the left we have the non-qualifiers. So the more like closer to the left that a country is, the less likely I think it is of qualifying, and then they can be placed basically along all the way here. And then the further they are close to the Q, the qualification mark, it means that I think they are very likely to qualify. But before we go ahead with this prediction, please let me know down in the comments below who you think will advance to the final from the second semi-final of Eurovision 2024. Okay, so the first one is Albania. This is of course Besa Kekudima with Titan. She revamped her whole song, and I prefer this one to the original song, but if I'm being completely honest, I think that their chances of qualification have been made smaller by this revamp, even though I like it more. Because really, like, it never goes well for Albania when they translate their song to English. Just look at Rune Hayati, she had a lot of English in her song, and also in 2000, like, was it 16, 17, they didn't do very well, and they also had songs in English, whereas Kiteo Tokas and Mol and also last year all qualified, because I think that there is an audience for that type of song, that like ethnic flavor that Albania usually brings with their own language and instruments, etc. And by translating the song into English, they really lose that and make the song, I would say, more like of a modern pop song. But there's really like, there's a lot of these songs in the competition, and by having their song in their own language, it kind of stood out more, and there's really like an audience for that type of song. I will not rule out Albania completely of qualification, but I will put them like here probably. I do think that right now it's more likely they're not qualifying to qualifying, but I feel like Albania is one of those countries that just always manage to pull themselves through. So I'm gonna put them probably here for right now. Okay, next up it's Armenia. I think Marino could be a shock non-qualifier. I know that a lot of people seem to really like the song, but I've also seen a lot of people who don't really like the song. And I think that in the Eurovision community, Armenia can sometimes be a little bit overrated, not just this year, but just like in general. Even though sometimes they have amazing entries, and I always feel like they always bring decent songs. But I think that the song is lacking something. At the end, there's like 30 seconds they're not using, or 40 seconds they're not using. I think it's a very borderline one, honestly, if I'm being completely honest. I'm going to put it just on the left side here, because I'm just not sure a lot of people are going to be into that stuff. But this could very well qualify, but this is just me doing a little bit of a bold prediction early on, but this can very well change when I see the staging. Then we have Austria. Okay, Killeen is a great dancer, and she can sing while dancing as well. This will surely go to the final. I feel like this will probably be, let's put it here. Like, this is not a Pia Maria incident where obviously Pia Maria had a lot of difficult times hitting the notes. It's not going to be the issue for Killeen. I've seen the live performance of hers with the dancing. It looks really good and she sounds really good. This is really safe qualifier. I cannot see how this is not qualifying. It has been an absolute disaster on stage, and I think the song is just strong enough to pull them through regardless. So Austria, you're through. Next up is Belgium. Okay. Belgium. This is a very like strong and very impactful song, and the vocals are also great. I think that the song itself is actually enough to carry it through, even if the performance lacks, because Belgium have not had the best streak of stagings, let's be real. they have been making some really, really bad stagings through recent years. But I think this song is just so strong that on its own, it will qualify and go to the final. It's just one of those songs that it just have the quality to go through to the final. But I'm gonna probably put it like on par with Austria. Next one, it is Czechia. It is Aiko with Pedestal. The vocals are really, really bad. She's not gonna get a lot of points with those vocals. If they have not improved, they could finish it last in the semi-final. I like the song, but I think that with the vocal we have, it's just not going to make it through. And the song is just a little bit middle of the road and it doesn't do that much. So I feel like the chances of Czechia qualifying are kind of slim. I'm going to put them down here because I'm not going to rule it out completely, but she really needs to improve her vocals drastically. But even then, I think the song is just a little bit too middle of the road for this to qualify. So I'm going to put it down there, even though Czechia has actually been doing very, very well at Eurovision recently, and they even got a 10th place last year with this now, which were my 2nd place last year. But I think that this year is not going to be the year of Czechia. Then we have Denmark. Okay, I think that the song is in many ways a kind of basic pop song, but I feel like this is kind of like stronger and more impactful than, for instance, Czechia. And the staging here looks really, really good and promising. I love the lighting, like when she like moves her like hand, the lighting goes with her. And I've seen a lot of people really just saying that they really like this song. And I could see this going through to the final. Denmark obviously don't have the best track record, but I do think this is one of the better entries in years. I don't think they are as likely a qualifier as Austria and Belgium, but I would probably put it like here if I had to put them here. I do think that they're more likely of qualifying than Albania and Czechia and Romania, but also I could see them not qualifying if it's just not good enough. So we'll have to wait and see for that, but I do think that there is a good chance of qualifying for Denmark. Next up we have, let me see, it is Estonia. I am not the biggest fan of Estonia, and you probably already know that. I mean, not the country, but the song, of course. I love Estonia as a country, and last year they had an amazing entry. I think that when I put aside what I feel about the song, we need to acknowledge that this is a song that's very, very televote friendly. This of course win the televote in Estilau with quite a large margin. It's kind of similar to Finland in the first semifinal, even though I do not like it. I'm pretty sure it's going to qualify. I'm going to put it like here, like next to Belgium. I just think it's very likely to, maybe a little bit less, like that. I think it's very likely that Estonia will qualify just because the song is so wild and chaotic and it just screams televote. Though I don't think that they're going to do amazing with the jury in the semifinal. Or in the final, sorry, not in the semifinal, but in the final. But I think they're going to make it through to the final. Next up, we have Georgia. It is, let's see, it is Nutsa Butalatsa with Firefighter. So Georgia had not qualified since 2016, and I'm not sure they're going to qualify this year either, but I think that they have not had a better chance than this year. I think the song is the strongest that they have been sending since, and Nutsa have been posting some things on Instagram regarding like the staging and just going to have some dances and stuff. So it's pretty promising. I feel like it's really promising, but somehow Georgia just always seems to not make it. I think I'm going to put Georgia here, just below Denmark, with the hope of them qualifying, with the wish of them qualifying, but me also realizing that even last year when they had a really great song, they did not qualify, things were not aligned. So hopefully this year the stars are aligning with Nutsa Butalatsa and Georgia can go through, hopefully. We are praying for them. Next up we have Greece. This is Maria Sati with Sarin. This is a very, very popular entry, and Greece has been doing very well in recent years. This is qualifying. I'm going to put it here next to Austria, but this is like qualifying for sure. I don't really see how it is not qualifying. If I'm being honest, I would probably put it a little bit up like this. Maybe like move this like that. It's just very unique, very different. It's very its own. There's nothing like this in the competition, so it will really stand out. And Greece, it is a good song in my opinion as well. And Greece, as I said, has been doing very well recently. There's always a lot of love for Greece. I feel like yeah, I would just be really surprised if they did not make it. But we have seen them sometimes do some horrible stagings, like with Onoremu. That was an amazing song. And that was also this very cultural flavor that they just did not translate very well to the stage. But I feel like this year they have it, and they're gonna go through for sure. Next up, we have Israel. This is, of course, a controversial one. It is Eden Golan with Hurricane. So, Israel is a very, very safe qualifier. I'm going to put them all the way up here next to Austria to the qualification mark. What people need to understand about Eurovision is that you cannot vote to not send a country through. So I know that a lot of people who are against Israel for political reasons, who are not wanting this in the final, who are not going to vote for it. But they cannot like downvote it. You cannot like downvote a country in Eurovision. If you could downvote it, Austria would probably be last. Israel would probably be last. But there are a lot of people who really love Israel, and especially in these times, support Israel because they're on one side of the conflict. So yes, Israel is guaranteed to qualify due to political reasons. But even if it were not for politics, I still think this would have gone through because I think it's a quality entry. But the thing is, you cannot download an entry, but all the people who really love Israel are able to put it through to the final. I'm pretty sure this is a pretty safe qualifying. This is going to do very, very well. And I do predict a top 10 finish in the final for Israel. Next up, we have Latvia. It is Dance, of course, with Hollow. Latvia has not had a good streak at Eurovision recently, which is really sad. I like this song, but I'm gonna admit, it kind of drowns amongst more impactful songs in the semifinal. I think it could qualify, but I do think that it's less likely to qualify, especially when we don't have juries. If we had juries, I think the chance of qualification would be bigger. I'm gonna put it here, probably, maybe lower, like here. Like there. I just don't see it right now in the cards, even though I think the song is alright. I just don't think that it's impactful enough. And I think that we have really these two male ballots in the semifinal. We have Belgium and we have Latvia. And if you have to pick between those two, Belgium is just so much more impactful, which is why I think Latvia might be the one who just, takes the sad price of not qualifying. Next up, we have Malta. It is Lou. Not all girl bops are gonna make it. We have Austria, we have Georgia. I don't think we're gonna have 3 girl bops make it. And I put Austria and Georgia through, which means that I have to put Malta not through. I'm gonna put Malta here because I do think that Malta could actually take over from Georgia. If Georgia flops, I do think Malta could take that spot. But because they go these girl bops, they kind of go for the same people. They want the same people to vote for them, really. So I'm gonna give the edge to Georgia for this one. I just think the song is stronger, and I have seen more love for the song. But the Maltese girl, she can dance, so we should not rule her out at all. And I would really hope to see Malta back in the final again soon. Then we have Netherlands. Okay, Netherlands is a very, very safe qualifier. I'm gonna put it can we put it here? There. I don't think it's as safe as Israel, but it's very safe. This is a very, very televote friendly song, even though it might not be my top 10 song personally. This is gonna do very, very well with the televote. I do think it's gonna be top 10 at least with the televote in the final. However, I will say that there have been a lot of people who have been saying, oh my god, Netherlands is gonna win, and then they have been showing streams on Spotify and YouTube. What people are maybe failing to see is that a lot of the streams are coming from the Netherlands and Belgium because it's really where it's very, very popular. So 85–90% of the streams are actually from there, but still it's doing very well in the charts, which is of course a great feat. And also in the odds, Netherlands actually moved up to 5th place now, which is really insane. And I do think that, I think it's a little bit high for them, but I think top 10 is reasonably in the odds. But also one of the reasons why Netherlands is so high in the odds is because if you look at what countries people are paying on, betting on, they're the most betted on country, actually, more betted than Croatia. And when a lot of people bet on a country, the odds are automatically gonna like go down, like which means it's more likely to happen because the odds setters, they don't want to lose money, so that is just like a natural mechanism. So if I were to like go in and like bet like $1 million on Moldova, who is currently like last in the odds, they would just rise up the scoreboard because now they're like, oh my god, we cannot risk this much money, so the mechanism would just pull them up. Just like an observation, but Netherlands is a safe qualifier nonetheless. And the same is Norway, the next country. Norway brings this Norwegian heritage. It's this very own genre. I think it's a very, very likely qualifier. I'm gonna put it here. I just don't see how it's not making it through. It's like cultural, screams national heritage. Honestly, I think this is more likely to qualify. It's just, yeah, it's cultural, national heritage, and Norway is on a qualification streak. Nothing is gonna stop this entry. We know the stage, we know it looks good, we know it sounds great. I don't see anything really stopping Norway from qualifying to the final and getting another top 10 finish in the final. Then we have San Marino. San Marino always showed to qualify, and they only managed to do it 3 times, and their best result is still on 19th place. They're not qualifying this year, let me tell you that much. Let's put them down here. I don't think that they had a chance of qualification. Maybe let's move them a little bit from the wall. Let's do that. This song is simply not enough. And when you're San Marino, you're such a small country, you need to like make an even better song to get through to the final, because it's just a little bit harder for you when you're a small country. That's just the truth about Eurovision. Their Unmuchip San Marino national selection haven't had much success yet, and I don't think this is going to be any different. I just don't see it. I think this is going to be like bottom 3 in the semi-final with Czechia. I just don't see it, unfortunately. I think it's very, very, very sad. But I don't think that San Marino is going to go to the final. I think that they should just return to their internal selection, because I do think when you're such a small country, you need to use your resources in a smart way. And lastly, we have Switzerland. Okay, Switzerland is a very unique one. It's very, I love Switzerland, by the way. It's very unique, very out of the box. It's very itself. This is a sure qualifier. Let's put it all the way over here. It's very unique. It's very itself. Let's put it like here, like there. It's very unique, out of the box, very itself. Nothing really is like this. It's a song that is more up-tempo, more targeted towards televote. The only thing I have against this is if he fails miserably with the vocals, but from what I have seen, he's really good vocally, so I'm not really doubting it that much. Switzerland is on a really good roll in terms of qualification. It will stand out, and it's also one of the favorites to win Eurovision. It is number 4 in the odds, and I don't see how this will struggle to qualify. This could, I think this could also fight for the victory actually in this semi-final. I think this could take the victory. I think Israel, Netherlands, and Norway could as well. I think that those are going to fight for the spot. But as you can see here, these 10 songs are the songs that I think will qualify right now. And then you can see the other songs here. But I feel like it's much closer. Like we have much more songs like around like the edge right here. But I do think that there are just some very, very obvious qualifiers for the semi-final. And I really think like 8 of the spots are taken, and then there's these like 2 spots that we can like fight around with. But yeah, that is just what I think. What do you think about who will qualify for the second semi-final of Eurovision 2024? Please let me know down in the comments below, and as always, you shall be blessed until I see you next time. Bye bye. Boom.